Bonjour, ladies and gentlemen. Hannahbox here with some more Wander No More. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close to the end of this game, so we're just going to go on through and finish it as fast as we can. In the wake of my confession to Chiyo, further changes took place in Hatsu Village. Starting with Chiyo, the villagers all began to act more depressed than I had anticipated, including the ever-energetic Azai and Araki. In turn, this lethargy slowed productivity down to a halt. Our meals were all smaller, no new traps were made, and torn clothing went without repair. We all simply wandered around the village aimlessly, like starving chickens waiting to be beheaded. Even as the villagers gave in to despair, I remained vigilant, keeping watch at all hours of the day. I headed out of the village in the direction of Mirai, practicing my swordsmanship as I waited for an enemy that may never come. Looking over the horizon, I almost wished that the Kudokoshi would show up so we can finally end our struggle. Wow, this got depressing. But as I swung my blade at thin air, reliving my days as Captain Nabatame, the only thing that came to me was reminiscence. Here. Oh god, my voice. Before I could leave the house to start my training for the day, Chiyo placed a wooden bowl full of fruit in front of me. Despite our damaged relationship, Chiyo still insisted that I eat whatever she prepared, and she refused to let me go hungry. Thank you, Chiyo. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No sooner had she offered me breakfast than Chiyo retreated into the next room. Although she resolved to continue her role as a forager, Chiyo was otherwise just as depressed as everyone else, if not more so. You know, she asked you in the first place. She should be... Okay, you gave up your life as a killer, just so you can save her life, and the villagers, and bring it back to life. Why does she have the right to be upset at you for that? Whatever. She spoke to me very little, ate almost nothing herself, and had barely slept at all. Chiyo was in a downward spiral, and the only thing I could do was wait for fate to take its course. Upon arriving at the edge of the village facing Mirai, I had expected to indulge in solitude. I had been training alone up until this point, and nobody dared to go near me when I unsheathed my sword. On this day, however, that pattern was broken. Good morning, Koichiro-sama. Koichiro-sama, there you are! I guess they're both older now. Waiting patiently near my usual training spot were Azai and Araki, both of whom were wearing serious expressions. I hadn't expected either boy to be awake so early. Since they arrived, both boys had consistently woken up later than even the elderly villagers. Either my good habits were finally rubbing off, or something was wrong. Good morning, boys. You're up early. What brings you out here? Araki looked down at the ground and swayed from side to side, unwilling or unable to convey the reason behind his appearance. Koichiro-sama, Azai and I... Koichiro-sama, please train us. Train you? In contrast to his brother's reservation, Azai immediately blurted out their mutual desire. Please, Koichiro-sama. Right, train us. Please. Azai and Araki both bowed their heads. You two want me to train you? Yes, please teach us how to use a sword. You still have those two blades you took from that other samurai, right? Please, let us wield them. Yeah, we want to help protect the village. Please, help us protect our family. Faced with the honest, selfless pleas of the two young boys, I sighed in exasperation and shook my head. Boys, I'm glad you want to help, but the Kudokoshi could be here any day now. Those men have trained for years, some even decades. Learning basic sword skills won't help you. But Koichiro-sama! No buts. If you try to fight those men, you're going to get yourselves killed. Do you understand that? They will not take pity on you because you're children. They will slaughter you with ease and without hesitation. I understand that you want to protect your family, but you can't do that if you're dead. If you truly wish to protect your family, then go with them. Stay by their sides and see to it that they escape with their lives. Understood, Koichiro-sama. Azai and Araki slowly walked away, fighting back tears as they did. I punched them in the backs and chopped their throats. Once they had put a few meters between us, the two boys started to run straight toward their house. Neither of them turned back to face me, nor did they say another word as they ran. My tone may have been a little harsh, but those boys needed to hear it. Childish dreams of heroism die the minute you enter battle. If those two fight, they will without a doubt be killed. So if making those boys resent me is what it takes to keep them alive, it's a price I'm willing to pay. Unfortunately, that seems to be a common pattern recently. Chiyo hasn't looked at me since the same since I told her about my old job, and the friendliness I once received from the other villagers is now gone. Azai and Araki are most likely the only two left on my side. And now... I wandered past the edge of my village, into the barren lands before me. Unsheathing my blade, I exhaled deeply, readying myself for another day of training in solitude. With my blade held firmly in my right hand, I wandered away from the village, as far as I could go without losing sight of my new home. A week or so of training may not make up for a year of peasant life, but it does remind me of the man I once was. Before I became a killer, I was a devoted swordsman. I trained myself every day, and took every opportunity to improve myself. I fought strong opponents, many of whom were twice my age and far more experienced, yet I never lost. My endless training and natural talent propelled me forward, making it possible for me to become the best of the best. For all those who praised and revered my skill, just as many people resented me. Every time I defeated a seasoned while sparring, I would gain another fan and a dozen enemies. Ordinary people feared me, and other samurai treated me with hostility, all because I surpassed them so easily. I dared to rise higher up than they ever could reach, and for that I was hated. Through my tough times, only two people stayed by my side. My childhood friends, Haru and Itu. Like the two sides of my conscience, Haru and Itu always spurred me on in conflicting ways, both with my interest at heart. Or best interest at heart. My dear Haru always wanted me to give up on joining the Kutakushi. She practically begged me to give up on swordsmanship, and to live a normal life. Itu, on the other hand, considered us to be rivals. He foresaw the two of us joining the Kutakushi together, rising in ranks, and forever competing as we fought side by side. But now that life is over, and I failed to make either one of their dreams come true. I could not give Haru the happy life she so deserved, nor will I ever again fight by Itu's side. All I have left now is this village, and the people within it. My daughter, Chiyo, and my two pupils, Araki and Azai, their sister, Chiyo's good friend Kana, the kind-hearted families who fled from Mirai. Before I realized it, I was swinging my sword angrily, cutting away at the air before me while deep in thought. I thrust my blade forward, and then turned around and slashed at the invisible enemy behind me. As though dancing, I swiftly moved in a chaotic yet rhythmic pattern, playing out a scene of carnage from my past. I disemboweled and beheaded soldier after soldier, painting the walls red with their blood. I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but whatever. Whether they love me or hate me, I will protect every person in this village. I am the village leader, and I will see this fight through to the bitter end. The Kutakushi will come, if not because of that scout, then for the sake of exploration, or to expand the kingdom. And when they do, I will be ready. You know, I do have to mention this right now. This game is very well written, and I'm not just saying that because, it's a story. It should be well written. This is a game from another country, like I want to say a Japanese company, I believe. They did a very good job translating this. I've seen no errors, maybe a couple comma errors, but what the heck, that's all down to subjection. This is actually a very well written game, and I have to give it respect for that. So yeah, after many hours of tireless training, I returned home to eat lunch with Chiyo. However, my speaking has not changed and I still suck. I had worked up both a sweat and an appetite, thanks to the hot rays of the sun beaming down on me. So I spoke so soon. Unless that's what it's supposed to be. Full of juicy fruit sounded more tantalizing than ever. Upon walking through the door, however, I immediately realized that my exertion wouldn't be rewarded so easily. Wow, I spoke really soon.
About time you got back, Chuku. You reek of sweat.
Waiting with a stern look on her face, Chiyo addressed me the moment I walked inside. Yes, it is rather hot out there. It's easy enough to work up a sweat, even without moving, let alone swinging a blade around.
Is that right?
Chiyo stared at me dubiously, as though my reply didn't matter in the slightest. Did something happen, Chiyo? Or is this still about what I told you the other day?
Don't jump to conclusions. Not everything is about you, Ku. Maybe you should think less about yourself and more about those around you.
With obvious hostility in her voice, Chiyo failed to answer my question. Unfortunately, with no idea why she was so angry, I could only act like my usual self. Others around me. Are you talking about yourself? I've been giving you space because I thought that was what you wanted. If not, all you had to do was...
I'm talking about Kana's little brothers. I don't know what you said to them, but those boys have been depressed and crying all morning. Now Kana's angry at me because of something you've said. Just what did you say to those boys exactly? What did you do to screw up their lives?
The second I tried to make a joke, Chiyo lashed out, completely unwilling to play along. I could see fury in her eyes, unlike anything I'd seen since we first met, back when her parents' corpses were still fresh, and we were mere strangers. Hey now, you're a rock star. There's no need to get upset. The boys wanted me to show them how to use a sword, and I refused, that's all. Perhaps I could have been nicer about it, but I still feel that my decision was warranted.
Warranted or not, you just made the entire Kihai family hate you. You need to apologize to those boys right now.
You want me to apologize? I told those boys not to throw their lives away. How is that something to apologize for?
I don't care who's in the wrong, just apologize to them. You're the adult here, so act like one. Tell those boys that you're sorry, so we can all be friends again.
Faced with Chiyo's accusations and demands, I could feel my calm disposition slipping away. The stress of preparing Hatsu Village for an imminent bloodbath was weighing on me, not to mention the cold treatment I'd been receiving from the villagers. Ever since Raizai showed up, life in the village had become unbearable. Friends, don't make me laugh. Not one person in this village considers me a friend. You all call Kurichiro-sama, Kirichiro-sama, when you need something, yet the second real conflict arrives, nobody wants anything to do with me. But that's fine by me. I don't need to be loved or even liked. I will continue to do what I think is right.
Are you even listening to yourself? Just how self-censored can you be? This isn't about you, it's about doing what's best for everyone. We should be preparing for the worst right now. Instead, everyone's too busy getting mad about nothing. So swallow your pride, apologize, and do your duty as the village leader.
That's exactly what I was doing. What kind of village leader would tell children to join the front lines, or give them weapons? I was protecting you all, just as I always have.
Darn it, Ku. At some point you need to realize that sheltering people isn't the same as protecting them. You should be telling those boys what they can do to help, not just shooting them down.
I sighed angrily at Chiyo's response. This is hopeless. All we're doing is going around in circles. The story's gonna be spiraling now. Chiyo has no idea what she's said, or what was said. She's just unconditionally taking her friend's side. Is this what it's like to be a leader, or a father? Well, same difference. Chiyo, please stop acting like you know everything. I did tell those boys how they could help. I told them to stay with their family, and to escape together. Tell me, how is that wrong?
That's not wrong, but...
But nothing. I have not erred here, and I will not stand beside children and watch them get slaughtered. Chiyo, I appreciate that you want everyone to get along, but it's not always that simple. Sometimes people simply cannot see eye to eye, no matter what. I turned those boys down knowing that they might hate me for doing so, but if that's what it takes to keep them alive, then I regret nothing.
I still can't agree with you deciding everything for them. Even if they lose their lives doing so, those boys have a right to decide if they want to fight or not.
Now you're just trying to best me. You don't believe a word you don't believe a word you just said, did you?
I do so.
No, you don't. You realize that you were in the wrong, and now you're trying to cover up your mistake. Man, Kirichiro-sama is freaking awesome. You should realize by now that the father knows best. Okay.
You're wrong. It's not like that, Baka. I was just sticking up for those boys, Baka, that's all.
It's okay, Chiyo. I accept your apology. And then, in parentheses, I've come to realize that Chiyo has a fatal error in her. She has a disability. Every time she blushes, she has to say Baka. Though if you really want me to apologize, know that the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I laughed at Chiyo's attempt to maintain her dignity, then offered her a way out. I didn't want to argue any more than she did, and if giving Chiyo another task would help her keep distracted for a while, then both sides would benefit.
So that's what you were after. Fine. If preparing your lunch is what it takes to put this conversation behind us, then I'm ready whenever you are. Let's go out for a little trip in the forest, shall we?
Now that's more. Wait a second. Us?
I'll grab the food. You need a bath. I wasn't kidding about you reeking of sweat, Ku.
I suppose I have been training since daybreak. Even if I can't smell myself, I'm definitely covered in sweat. Okay, a quick bath, lunch, and then back to training. Today might not be a total waste after all.